It's winter holiday time on the island of Sodor. It's very cold, but the engines don't mind. They love this time of year when the stations look jolly in their decorations.
I'd say, even though I'm not big on winter in general, the way everything looks, and with the Winter Wonderland theme going on in the background, I could care less. It sounds really pleasant. However, I'm not the only one not interested in snow. The engines were talking about it themselves.
Driver says there's more snow on the way, said Edward. We'll soon be wearing our snow plows, said James. You'll enjoy that, won't you, Thomas? Teased Henry. You know I won't, said Thomas. I don't like my snow plow.
Exactly. Thomas was still nowhere near as welcoming to the snow since the very first season. Well, at least Terence and the Scottish twins will be on duty. I hope. Having them in an episode would be nice sometime. Anyway, Top Hat came with orders for Thomas about a special he needed delivered, but only if he was fitted for a snowplow.
Please, sir, my plow is awkward and uncomfortable. Do I have to wear it? Everyone has to wear a snowplow, said Sir Topham Hatt. The fitters, his driver, and firemen all helped with Thomas's snowplow. We'll have to try that again.
Yeah, I don't know who was lowering it the first time, but they obviously never did it before. And what happened to that better-looking blue one Thomas banged up originally? I guess Top Hat's budget went down the tubes after having all the new engines coming aboard, huh? Well, at least we got to hear some of the original members say something for once. And again, actually, when Thomas picked up his special, which was a Christmas tree.
The tree will have lights and stand in the middle of the village, said Edward. Make sure you get it to Toby safely. I will, said Thomas.
Ah, well, at least the music being played is festive. That snowplow is a hard thing, though. And as unappealing as it was, Toby sighed of relief when he saw Thomas wearing it. Mainly because Toby needed Thomas to clear the tracks. Thankfully, this episode doesn't have Thomas wearing that wretched face from the past 2 episodes. Oy. However, there were more problems to come up instead of that.
Thomas couldn't see. There was a huge rock buried under the snow. Suddenly, his snowplow hit the rock. Bouncing buffers, exclaimed Thomas. My plow is broken. His driver tried to stop, but the broken plow hit the water tower.
Oh, jeez. Yep, somebody did not know what they were doing when they were fitting that plow on Thomas. Instead, they were too busy goofing off, saying, "Let's try it again." What a bunch of bufferheads. Of course, with that happening, Thomas's crew felt they weren't going to make it. But Thomas thought otherwise. He wanted to keep going. So they did.
Thomas was trying as hard as he could, but there was just one snowdrift after another. Finally, Thomas and Toby were pulling into the village station.
And with that, people clapped and cheered like it was Christmas. Oh wait, it was. Moving on. Thomas was happy he made it without his snowplow. And he's lucky because he could have gotten stuck again in a snowdrift. And who knows how far away Terence and the Scottish twins might have been. But I'll give him credit because he didn't give up. Top Hat felt the same way.
The villagers had a wonderful feast, he said. You were very brave to take on that snow without a plow. Thank you, sir, said Thomas. As you know, there are no spare snowplows, so you'll just have to do without yours for a while. Oh, thank you, sir, grinned Thomas.
Yeah, you're just lucky, Thomas. Just wait until you get buried alive again in another snowdrift. This was an okay episode. I think the Fogman was slightly better because it involved a goofy contraption and a human character. Here it feels more like a rehash of Thomas, Terence, and the Snow of Season 1. It's wintertime and the snow's piled high, so Thomas needs a snowplow. Thomas doesn't like his snowplow. Said snowplow gets damaged and is removed. The only difference is Thomas didn't need saving this time. Yippee. I was really hoping that we could have seen Donald, Douglas, or Terence. Oh well. I think what was more intriguing to see in this episode is the transformation that is going on with how everything looks in the show. And by that I mean fans should begin to see new facial expressions for various characters. Edward, Toby, Henry, Thomas, and James all had faces that either looked updated or completely new to the screen. Looks like we are seeing a transition period in ownership, maybe? It was kind of noticeable at the start of this season, but I wanted to wait a little before I pointed it out. Well, the visuals in general were pretty good too. We got a crap ton more shots of various new and old stations like Lower Tidmouth, Maithwaite, and Ballyhoo. What kind of name is that? Moving on, we also saw Tidmouth Sheds and even Knapford Station, which wasn't even shown last season, so hooray for that! And as for music, practically all of it was the Winter Wonderland theme, and that's completely fine for this episode. Would more variation make it better? Yeah, but I'm really not complaining. Next episode is Twin Trouble. Thanks for watching.